Gaming Caps.
Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Gaming Capsules. A big thank you to all my viewers for tuning in today. For all of you fans of late 80s and early 90s action games, have I got an incredible treat for you today. Developed by the one-man indie studio Mechanical Head Games and published by Yacht Club Games, Cyber Shadow is the latest retro-style ninja action title to hit the scene. It's available on Steam, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox One. Today, we will be taking a look at the Steam version. Don't worry, as this will be a spoiler-free review. So stick around and find out why this frenetically methodical game about ninjas and robots could very well be worth trying out for yourself. Cyber Shadow is set in a post-apocalyptic science fiction world. Your character, a mechanically enhanced ninja, codenamed Shadow, is one of the last remaining members of an extinct ninja clan, which has been wiped out by a mad scientist who seemingly caused the end of the world. Throughout the adventure, you will be piecing together the main character's mysterious past and find out what caused the disappearance of his love interest, who also happens to be his ninja master. The story is told through some very cool cinematic cutscenes, in-game dialogues during certain encounters, information found in computer terminals, and by talking to the spirits of the deceased. While the amount of story in the game is neither lengthy nor overwhelming, you can pretty much just skip most of it, which is great for speedrun attempts or for anyone who wants to focus on just playing the game without interruptions. Anyone familiar with Ninja Gaiden will feel almost right at home with Cyber Shadow. The first level seems to come right out of a brand new entry from that series. But Cyber Shadow is constantly introducing new gameplay mechanics and changing things up, all the way up to its final moments. The way the game plays initially is wildly different from what you can expect later on, as it honestly becomes more and more like a Mega Man X or a Mega Man Zero game as you clear more levels, complete with dashing and sliding off walls. You even have a shoot 'em up vehicle level that seems to come out right out of Contra. In terms of level design structure, the game is a mostly linear level-to-level experience, but some of the stages connect with each other and you can backtrack. The layouts are not quite as open as what you would find in a Metroidvania, and backtracking is mostly optional. That said, there is quite a bit of exploration, as there are more than a few hidden rooms and even secret boss encounters that are not on the main path. While you initially have traditional platforming and combat, the game constantly introduces fun platforming puzzles that need to be overcome to progress. These usually put your skills to the test, and it's a fun way to turn combat mechanics into traversal options. Your initial loadout is limited to a sword slash, but you will quickly gain access to other offensive abilities. Some of them will cost points from the SP bar to perform, while others can be done at any moment, but they gain special properties when spending SP for them. Besides these permanent upgrades, you also get temporary power-ups, most of which are these little satellite robots that follow you around. Some of these assistants will provide artillery against enemies, or give you a shield against incoming fire, or even refill your SP bar over time. One of my favorites is a yo-yo ninja star that circles your character and which you can hit with your sword to direct it towards enemies. While the assistance they provide can make you much more powerful, these power-ups are actually rather difficult to maintain, as they disappear after being hit 3 times. They also only appear on specific locations, so it's actually unlikely that most players will be using most of them as much as they probably expect to. You have frequent save points, and your character respawns almost instantly right after dying, without any real permanent punishment. In fact, dying actually has some benefits. You can spend in-game currency at save points to provide some assistance, like refilling your health and SP meters, or giving you access to one of those temporary power-ups. you can choose to make the game quite a bit easier when respawning. It's a pretty clever system, although you can never choose which item a save point will carry. I would have honestly liked to have a choice and test out new strategies. Despite the quality of life elements I mentioned, the difficulty can get pretty high. You have a lot of one-hit insta-kill obstacles, and Shadow has almost no invincible frames after getting hit, so you can be bumped into spikes and die, or get caught up in a fairly bad combo of enemy assaults and find yourself back at the save point. At times, your main character actually feels like a glass cannon. He's insanely powerful, but can get royally wrecked if you're not careful. My advice? Once you get the ability to parry, just stop whatever you're doing, put your ninja mission on hold, and make sure you get the timing for parries down. It will seriously be a lifesaver. Cyber Shadow focuses on recapturing the simplicity of the two-button layout that NES games were known for. Like Castlevania or Ninja Gaiden, you have simple combinations. Pressing up an attack, for example, will throw a ninja star, while down an attack will shoot up fire. I don't really have anything negative to say about the controls, as my character was always super responsive and doing exactly what I was expecting him to do, to the point where I discovered moves that the game didn't really tell me about. They just simply made sense to me, and it felt really organic to perform them. Visually, the game is an accurate artistic depiction of the games of yesteryear. Yet, much like Shovel Knight before it, it's only taking a deliberate, intentional approach to it, as the NES could never even dream of being able to pull off what this game does. There's no flickering, no slowdown, it has a widescreen aspect ratio, and there are overall just a lot of visual effects that the NES would not be able to handle. The pixel art is overall superb, and to anyone who loved video games in the early 90s, this will feel like playing a long-lost game from some sort of beefed-up NES console. There are also the previously mentioned Ninja Gaiden style cutscenes, which look really cool. Especially the introduction one that plays if you let the title screen hang for a moment. Make sure not to miss it. You can also play the game with a CRT filter. This actually looks mostly pretty good, though you will need to adjust your brightness setting to get it to look accurate. That said, when I turn the CRT filter on, I get some weird scanline artifacts on certain graphics. I don't know yet if this is only happening on my computer setup or if it's something that will be fixed later on, but I will probably post an update whenever I have more information. In the meantime, I like the clean sharp pixels anyways. Much like the visuals, the music in this game tries to evoke a similar feeling to what you would hear on the NES. The compositions by Enrique Martin really nail the vibe of old school tunes, with some extremely catchy and unforgettable tracks. I actually bop my head to the beat sometimes while I'm playing. There are even a few nods to classic game music, so do keep a lookout for that if you're like me and you like finding references. The game retails for $19.99 US and should last about 7 to 10 hours on a first playthrough, even more if you try to find everything. There are built-in achievements which should increase that time counter much further. Not to mention, it begs to be replayed until you can clear it as fast as possible. It's one of those games that you get better at the more you replay, which in turn makes it even funner to revisit, not unlike the classics that inspired it. For $20, I feel that you're getting quite a bit of bang for your buck. We have something pretty special here. Just like Shovel Knight, this plays like a very finely crafted title. Ninjas, robots, and the oozing of 80s influence already elevate the game to a must-play title. But the fact that it plays so well and feels so satisfying makes it a no-brainer. Anyone that already enjoys this kind of game, the title totally deserves your support. For anyone else, this is honestly a really good entry point to see what the genre has to offer. Developer Arne Hunziker clearly put a lot of passion into his project, and you can feel it at every step Shadow takes in the game. I highly recommend you give it a try. This is a fantastic game to start the year with, guys. Well, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this review, or if you found the information useful in making your choice for picking up Cyber Shadow, please do give us a like. It helps this channel and it just brightens my day. I also want to hear what you guys think. Will you be playing Cyber Shadow? If you already did, what did you think? Do you agree with my review? Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see more content from the channel, consider subscribing and hitting the notification button. Well, have a great rest of your day and until next time.